I'm joined by Dr. Jo Saxton, CEO of Turner Schools, who manage the Folkestone Secondary and Primary Academies and the Martello and Moorhall Primaries and the new Turner Free School, which is opening in September. Welcome to Academy FM.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, we're going to talk about a letter home to parents about proposed changes in this school, the Secondary Academy, and also some comments and articles that have appeared online. Now, before I do, I should point out that this radio station is not part of Turner Schools. It's not part of the Folkestone Academy, and I'm not on the Academy payroll. We're a separate charity. Although the school do, of course, give us some support in the form of space and a grant in return for working with the students here. Now, Jo, you sent a letter to parents today. It was positive. It lists changes that you're proposing, but it comes shortly after a leaked document and negative online stories about staffing changes in the academy. For the parents who haven't seen the letter yet, give us a summary.
In simple terms, more teaching posts. We want to create new roles for teachers to attract them to the academy, to develop them through the academy, and to enable them to have leadership at all levels so that our young children meet their full potential. We want to increase direct student support within the academy, currently from 2 staff that work with children to 4. We would like to meet parental demand for an even finish to the week in the autumn, and we want to enhance provision for our most vulnerable and those with special and additional education needs. We'd also like to make some changes to curriculum so that we better pave the way for success at GCSE.
But Ofsted rated this school as good recently, and it wasn't good before that. It's on an upward trajectory. Why do you need to make these changes?
Because our kids don't do well enough at their GCSEs. For more than 3 years, GCSE results have declined in this academy. However, we've got the most amazing staff, we've got brilliant kids. The results of our primary, which beat all national measures, show that our kids can succeed. Our post-16 results are fantastic, with more than 500 kids going on to university. So I know that with this staff team, these children can and will reach their full potential, but Turner Schools is here to make sure that they do.
So that's the academic side of things at GCSE. Now, this leaked document mentions that you're proposing to change the structure from the way that the students are organised into a series of houses at the moment to them being managed by year groups. Why are you making these changes? What's wrong with the house system? Why is it going?
Well, let's be clear, the houses aren't going anywhere. They're an integral part of this amazing Norman Foster building, but they give us some operational issues, some issues which are obstacles to successful teaching and learning at the moment. So, for example, our Year 11s who are currently sitting exams, when we want to get them together for a briefing about exam expectations, we have to do it 8 times. It would be much better for those children if we could just do it once. If you look at the highest performing schools around the country where children reach their potential, they have year-based arrangements as well as house-based arrangements. So, as I said before, houses aren't going to be going anywhere, but we might rename them communities. They will have a vital role to play in terms of cohesion across the community, kids doing competitive sport, fundraising, charity, social events together, but there will also be houses and they will drive integrating academic and pastoral life.
Now, some of this leaked information discusses staffing changes, and it implies that support staff, now bearing in mind that many support staff in this academy are very experienced and have been here for a very long time, these leaked documents imply that support staff numbers are going to be cut. Is that true?
Well, let's be clear, the document doesn't say anything about numbers. These are also proposals. They are out there for consultation, for discussion, and we don't take making changes to people's jobs lightly. These proposals are being made in the interests of making sure that Folkestone's young people reach their full potential. Now, as a leader of schools, nobody wants to lose good staff. We are looking at ways of making sure that the staff are best supported to ensure that all children succeed.
What about students that particularly need some of the support staff out there, like our more vulnerable children? Are they going to suffer?
No, their provision will be enhanced with the creation of specialist groups of teaching and support staff who will work together, focusing on different areas of educational need. These proposals have been drawn up under consultation with a national expert on special education needs and disability, and are setting an innovative standard of how to make sure that we meet the needs of those who are most vulnerable.
Some of the things that have been written online are more about Turner Schools overall rather than the Academy. Just to clarify a few points, are you for profit?
No, we're not for profit.
Well, some people might think so. Is that definitely not the case?
I think of the hours that my team and I worked unpaid for many months one summer to finish the building that Martello Primary is in now, because that was the right thing to do. No, we're not for profit. Our articles prevent it. Academy and charity law prevent it. Our sole object is education, the advancement of education.
You've been accused of being politically motivated.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Is it true?
Well, I have the chairman of the group of schools I used to run was a minister in the coalition and Conservative governments, but people don't seem to know that I've also worked for a Labour Party minister on their reforms of the national curriculum. So I certainly personally, I think I'm pretty independent, and as a trust, again, we aren't allowed to be politically motivated. We are interested solely in the education of kids.
Something else that you've been accused of online, or Turner Schools has, is your primaries being unpopular.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Are the numbers good? Are they full of students?
Well, certainly Moorhall Primary has got waiting lists in some year groups. Martello Primary has trebled in size since we first arrived there. Are there spaces in the schools? Yes, there are, like there are in many schools, particularly primary schools across Kent. The numbers in the public domain at the moment come from local authority admissions, and they don't reflect the number of families that we have coming directly to our school offices asking for places.
Talking of students moving between schools and going up from primary to secondary, and looking at the Folkestone Academy at the moment, there's been a bit of a negative press around, as you know. Is this school a happy place?
Yes, you just have to come to Hot Chocolate Friday and sit with the children and hear them talk about their weeks to know that this is a happy community, to have lunch with the children. Children are really proud of this school. Are there things that we could do so it could be even better? Of course. Are we in a period of transition? Yes, we are. And I recognise that change is difficult and people don't like it. But yes, it's a happy school. And if only all the positive conversations that I get to hear about every day were posted online, they would enormously outweigh the loud negative voices.
Do you think, therefore, that communication is something that you could do better?
Yeah, probably. But I think my team and I, because we care so much about education, we have focused on kids and what happens in classrooms. We've opened our doors to parents. We have coffee mornings, or the leadership team do. We could do more, I'm sure we could. And in due course, we'll be writing to parents, actually asking them, what else would you like to hear from us and how would you like to hear it, so that we can really get it right for the next academic year.
Now, you're opening the free school on the old Pent Valley site. Is that going to open in September, and what are numbers looking like?
Yes, it's going to open in September. It's been oversubscribed. Twice as many families as we had places for applied. There is a waiting list. And the admissions have been done in order of need. So the most vulnerable have been offered places first, those in care, those with education healthcare plans, or military children. And then beyond that, it's fallen down simply to proximity. Centimetres on a map has made all the difference.
That's just one of your schools. You've got 3 primaries and 2 secondaries, quite a few in Folkestone now and coming up. You've been here in the secondary academy for about a year now. Tell me about the good and the bad points.
The bad points. I've been sworn at an awful lot, more in the last year than in my 46 years put together. I've been called an intellectual snob for believing that children can achieve. The press intrusion is frustrating because I think it's a distraction from getting on with the business of working for children. But I recognise that my team and I, we're public servants and we're here for the kids. So we're happy to answer the questions that the public asks.
And good points?
Good points. Brilliant to go into a school that once was cold and now it's warm because we've given it heating. To go into a school that had very few books and now has hundreds, and to find children with their noses in them and talking about art and the Bronze Age and the Apollo space mission.
What about student attainment, though? You talked a lot earlier about results, GCSEs and so on. In the schools I mean, talking about the primaries for a second, are you doing what you want to in terms of attainment in those schools?
In terms of Moor Hall and Martello, there's a way to go because of some of the legacy issues we inherited from Lilac Sky. But Moor Hall Primary is closer this year to meeting national standards than it has been in many years to date. And across those primaries, twice as many children can now read at their chronological age than could before we arrived.
Dr. Jo Saxton, thank you very much.
Thank you.